All right, so we're going to finish up this packet from yesterday. So yesterday we left off at what happens when they don't give you a 0 on the table. Well, the example underneath it, unfortunately for you, they give you a 0, right? So we can identify the y-intercept, right? Right here. It's when x is 0, right? So the y-intercept is, now we got to figure out the slope, right? Well, the x's are increasing by what? 1. So we just got to figure out what the y's are going. Are the y's increasing or decreasing? They're increasing. So from -6 to -4, it's 2, 2. Yep. So our slope is 2. So again, we don't write the plus minus. When you write your final equation, you're going to have y equals 2x minus 4. Okay? All right, now let's see how we remember from yesterday. Let's go to the next page, the last page here. And now we got two tables. Notice that the table here has no 0. So first of all, let's find the slope, because that's one of the first things we need is the slope. Okay? So if we notice our x's are not going up by 1, right? So from 2 to 4, that's 2, 4 to 7, and then it goes 2, 3 again. Okay? And from 5 to 13, 8, 13 to 25, and then 8, and then 12 again. So we got change in y with a change in x, right? So 8 over 2, right? This is the first set change, is what? 4. It's also down here, so we don't have to do that again, right? We've already done the work. And then 12, change in y, or the change in x, 12 over 3 is what? 4. So we see the common number here, right? That's our slope. The change in y over the change in x. So now, who remembers how are we going to find the b, the y-intercept? It's not in there. Yeah, remember we take y equals mx plus b. We're going to plug in the 4 for the slope. And then what's the other thing we got to do? How am I going to figure out? I got to solve for b. I got 3 different variables here. What's the other thing we have to do? Elton? Nope. We just did this yesterday. Look on the other side. Javon? Okay, we have to substitute in an x and a y coordinate, right? Always use the one that's the smallest numbers. It'll be easy to calculate. So I'm going to replace 5, y with 5, and x with 2. So this is 5, 4 times 2 plus b. So now I'm going to solve for b. You guys want to explain to me what's so funny? You want to go laugh in the office? So what's 4 times 2? Now, this is why we spent all this time solving equations early on, so you can understand how to isolate a variable. I got to get b all by itself. What am I going to do, Alex? Got to do the opposite, right? So 8's positive, so I got to subtract it to both sides. And when I do that, that isolates the right side. And 5 minus 8 is -3. So I've gotten my two pieces, right? I got my y-intercept. I got my slope. So what's my equation? Javon? -3. Y equals 4x minus 3. Okay? Now, in the last example here, they do give us the intercept, right? We already know what b is, right? It's 4. So again, it doesn't go up by 1s. So this goes by what? 2s? 3. So I didn't really change it up much. All right, our y is increasing or decreasing? Decreasing. Yeah. So this is -6. What's from 4 to -5? 9. Good. All right, so the first change in y over the change in x. So -6 over 2 is what? -3. And then -9 over 3 is -3. And again, these other two we've already done the work, so why do it again? So we know that our slope is -3. We know that our b is 4, so what's our equation? We got the two things we need. Nessa? There you go. All right, not too bad. All right, so now we get into the graphing part. And this kind of we had a week back, we had the homework assignment, kind of threw everybody off. So now how can we use slope-intercept form to graph the equation? Well, how many points do I need to make a line? 2. Okay, so when I look at this equation, right, slope-intercept form, what's my slope? 2, it's always the number in front of the x. What's my y-intercept? 1, it's always the number after the x. Okay, now 1 is a coordinate, right? 0, 1. So the y-intercept is the first thing I have to graph. So if I start at the origin, which is right where the two thick dark lines meet, where am I going to go to graph 0, 1? Up 1, right? Now that only gives me 1 point, right? So now I can use my slope, okay? My slope is 2, but in terms of rise over run, how can I write 2 in terms of rise over 1 as a fraction, Elton? 2 over 1. And since it's positive, we're going up 2 and to the right 1. So we're going to go up 2 to the right 1. That gives us our second point. Well, now I got my 2 points, right? I have my line. And I'm just going to draw as best I can a straight line. There's my graph. So that is the graph for this equation. Okay? So you got to have those 2 pieces. Once you have those 2 pieces, again, it's just plotting those 2 points. All right? So let's try the next one. What is my slope in the next one? And y equals -2/3 x minus 2. Alex? -2/3, okay. What's my y-intercept? So 0, -2. So where am I going to graph 0, -2? Javon? Right. Yeah, negative numbers are below the x-axis here, so 0, -2 is right there. Okay? Now, I got to use my slope, right? So -2/3, rise over run. So which direction am I going to go start? Where am I going? Alex? Well, not left. I'm always going to go down, because if I go left, that's a double negative. So I'm going down 2, that's my -2, and then to the right 3 puts my line there. Because now remember, a negative slope goes that way. Positive slope goes what we saw in the first example. So if I go left, that's like saying -2 over -3, which is actually a positive slope, right? So right there is my line. Now the last example we got, it's a little kind of off the wire, right? If you look at that bottom equation, I'm going to scroll down here in just a second. I don't know if people are still writing. But is that in y equals mx plus b form? So again, this is another reason why we spent time solving equations, because we're going to have to maneuver the equation around to get it into the right form. Because right now, if you look at this, we can't graph that, right? We have to get it in this form. What's wrong with that right now? Compared to y equals mx plus b. Sander? Okay, it's backwards. What else? Owen? Well, there is a slope there. It's just kind of hidden. M is equal to 1. Simon? Y's got a number in front of it. What else? Javon? We're not going to get rid of a letter. But over here, isn't y all by itself? Is y by itself over here? No. So the first thing we're going to do is try to get y by itself, right? So what's the first thing I can do to get y by itself? Owen? No, I'm not subtracting 4. Sander? No, I'm not subtracting 8. Nope, not dividing by 4. Add 8 to both sides. I'm not going to do any dividing until I get the extra stuff away from the variable out of the way, remember? So we're adding 8 to both sides. So this goes away, leaving me just 4y. And again, 2x and 8, are they like terms? No, so we can't combine. We can't add them together. We're just gonna write this like so. Now we're close. We got y on one side. We got everything else on the other side. But what's left? What's wrong right now with that equation? Why that is not in y equals mx plus b form. Why, Javon?
I have a question.
Oh,
I thought you're supposed to like put the 2x or the 4y first. So then
yeah. I can't combine anything because they're different variables. What's wrong? What's wrong right now, Eldon?
the 8 is not the y-intercept.
Okay, well that is true, but there's something else first that's we got to tackle.
There's a 4.
Yeah, there's a 4 in front of the y. Is there a big number in front of the y over here? No, it's a singular y, right? So how am I going to get rid of the 4?
Minus 4.
Nope, not minus 4.
5.
Divide. Because when you write 4y, you're saying 4 times y. So how do I undo that? The opposite of multiplication, which is division. So when I divide, I have to divide everything by 4. So I'm dividing this term, and this term. Okay? So 4 divided by 4 is what, everybody? 1. Leaving me just y. So there's my y, all right? First mission accomplished, right? Now, 2/4 as my, I can reduce that, right? 1/2. Plus, and then what's 8 over 4? 2. Now, is this in y equals mx plus b? Yeah. So now, I've had to do a little bit of work, but now I got it down to where I can graph it. What's my y-intercept, Owen?
I have a question.
Okay.
We added 8, so we have gotten 8.
Should have gotten what?
But in the 8, we added 8.
If we added 8, we get rid of the 8 on this side, but we added it over here. It is gone over here. There's no 8 on the left side. We had to move it. Remember, we're not solving for a variable here. We are moving things around to get the equation in this form. So if our y-intercept was what, Sander?
2.
Yeah, 0, 2, right? The coordinate 0, 2 is right there. Okay? That's our y-intercept. That's our b. All right? What's my slope, Max? 1/2, right? So rise over run from 0, 2. What are my directions? What do I got to go? Nessa? Rise 1, right 2. So we're going up 1 to 0, 3, and then over 2 to right here. 2 points make a line, right? Got my 2 points. I'm going to draw my line. And that's graphing slope-intercept form. Okay? All right, so we're going to stop there because I'm going to allow you time to do your homework. So we're going to stop this thing.